supporters of tariffs, there's a lot of triumphalism right now, as you said on the process, but they're saying, not just the trade deals, but they're saying, hey, all you guys, all you doomsayers, you said there'd be a recession here, there'd be real economic damage. Where is it, folks? So where's the critics want one? Well, I would say that there's support for both sides at this point. Certainly, if you look at today's employment report that came out on Friday, the health sector added some jobs. But if you take out the health sector, net employment growth has been negative in the past 3 months. Those happened 3 months after Liberation Day. So you point to that and say, geez, we've got some problems. We saw durable goods inflation at 5.7% in June. That's where you expect tariffs to show up. So there are people who will say, geez, we've got a problem, and it's got to be linked to the tariffs. On the other hand, the economy is still growing. GDP report for the first half is 1.1% sort of growth. It's not at a stall speed. It's slower than we like, but and then long-term inflation expectations are low, so it's going to come back down. At this point, we just don't know the ultimate answer, but there's an evidence on both sides of that. And do you expect a surge in manufacturing briefly coming back to the country from the tariffs? No, I've been a skeptic all along of the ultimate benefits. Certainly, the timing's all wrong. The surge that they talk so much about, the administration is making good on its promise to restore common sense to climate policy. The EPA fails its plan to repeal the Obama-era endangerment finding.
Struggling with toe fungus? Gross! Get to the curve with Tinioside. That's right, Tinioside is your ultimate solution for fast-acting relief. Fungus doesn't stand a chance against Tinioside by Dr. Blaine. Don't believe me? Then trust our 100% money-back guarantee. You'll see results in as little as 2 days. Pull into a Walmart store now and reach for the box with the nail clippers on the outside. Grab your Tinioside and take the first step toward healthier feet today. Remember, for quick and effective relief, it's Tinioside, available at Walmart right at the bottom shelf in the foot care aisle.
These statements are not evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Selling your home? On Ready.com, agents will pay you thousands up front just for the chance to sell your home. Because on Ready, agents compete. They put their money where their mouth is. Well, not really. You don't want agents with wallets in their mouths. But you get the idea. And when agents have money on the line, they sell your home for top dollar. So go to Ready.com, REDY.com, or call 888-515-READY.
When I heard you have advanced terminal cancer, my heart sank. I wasn't given long to live, and by the grace of God, I found the Invita Cancer Centers. They revolutionized my cancer treatment, and I'm alive 24 years later to tell my story. My name is Sandy Yazapata, and as a wife and mother of 2 beautiful children and 1 grandchild, I'm proud today to be an ambassador for Invita Cancer Centers. To hear many more stories like mine, visit us at Invita.com. That's ENVITA.com.
No patient experience. Compensation is not provided. Sharing the story. Individual results may vary. Consult your physician.
Welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world. With more than 80 courses designed by legends, stunning coastal views, and perfect year-round weather, there's no better place to tee it up. Whether you're chasing birdies, hosts for 3 days of golf and golf talk. Hosts for 3 days of golf and golf talk. Find out more at discoversecup.com.
Do you suffer from plantar fasciitis, back pain, or hip pain? I'm Stu Sakowitz, owner and inventor of Pine Valley Orthotics. We hand-making in New Jersey, and thousands of golfers from all over the country have called to tell me how amazing they feel. $99, and if I can't make your pain go away, I will happily refund your money. Call me at 866-443-7463. I even answer my own phone. Or go to PineValleyOrthotics.com. Your fee will thank you as much as I do.
For breaking news, politics, and public coverage like no other, Brett Baer is the smart analysis you can't miss. Weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
Just to put some perspective of the magnitude of what we're here to announce today, if finalized, today's announcement would amount to the largest deregulatory action in the history of the United States.
Calling it the largest deregulatory action in American history, Administrator Lee Zeldin announced this week that the Environmental Protection Agency would move to rescind its 2009 endangerment finding, which declared greenhouse gases a threat to public health. The repeal would dismantle the legal basis for the federal government's sweeping climate agenda.
President Barack Obama and Joe Biden, including electric vehicle mandates and rules forcing the retirement of fossil fuel power plants. We're back with Kim Strassel and Wall Street Journal columnist Alicia Finley. Alicia, so is this proposed rulemaking as significant as the Zeldin says?
Well, I would agree with that. What the administration is essentially doing is proposing to repeal this 2009 finding that laid the basis to regulate carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions across the economy. Now, how this all came about was in 2007, the Supreme Court ruled that if carbon and greenhouse gases are a danger to public health and
That's been conditioned by the Group 1 cars. It's always, you hear these drivers always talk about the metric and what separates the guys that are in Group 1. They had worse finishes, they're in worse points positions. The total accumulation of that puts them in the worst practice session. Here we are, this is the one that's most realistic to what the race is, and these guys are using it up, using the notes that they got from their teammates in the first session.
Now the Ford has gone to the top 10. Brad Keselowski now is up to the 9th spot. Now what's interesting, with every car getting laps in, the only Toyota in the top 10 is the driver who was the fastest. I say was because Tyler Reddick is no longer the quickest.
Kyle Larson has just turned in the fastest lap for Hendrick Motorsports. He did it on his 7th lap, 23.568. That's 133.656 miles per hour. But given the prowess of Hendrick Motorsports, given the prowess of Kyle Larson, not surprising that he's turned in some quick speed here in this practice session.
Not at all, as this Group 2 bunch has really begun to take over the top 10 in single lap speeds. Larson is the quickest. Tyler Reddick is second fastest. Reddick, out of Group 1, is the only Group 1 competitor still left, currently inside the top 10.
Larson has a major slip in the middle of 3 and 4. Matter of fact, he was headed to the outside wall. Alex Bowman gobbled him up pretty quick, and he had to jump on the binders, Bowman did, to prevent from collecting Kyle Larson. We've seen that with some drivers sending it off into turn number 3 and sliding and washing up the racetrack. They've been able to hang on to those race cars. But that was a close moment there for Kyle Larson, who immediately brings that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet back to the bottom of the racetrack after setting the fastest lap.
He'll get right back down there as the leaderboard shuffles up a little more. Christopher Bell has gone to the top of the leaderboard, defending Brickyard 400 champion now. Bubba Wallace is up to second quick, and momentum is certainly on that team's side. You got to think after breaking through, not only with a win in the NASCAR Cup Series, Mike, but a crown jewel win at that. The next race on the schedule couldn't get here quick enough.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace did a great job last week. 23-11 racing, obviously getting locked into the playoffs, and of course the countdown has begun. Of course, Steve Post telling us earlier that Bubba's all about trying to get things buttoned up. They got a month to do it because they want to come into the playoffs strong. They don't want to come into the playoffs in a lackluster posture, if you were. But right now on the racetrack, it's all about Joe Gibbs Racing and 23-11 Racing. Not talking about Denny Hamlin yet. He is up to 8th quickest on the leaderboard. Just watching him go around the racetrack, he's just gotten by Kyle Larson. Now he's just put the pass out. Track. Ryan Blaney won this race a year ago, the inaugural NASCAR Cup Series race here in the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol. Steve Post, what are they saying here after his opening handful of laps?
Not good what they're saying, that's at all. And I was kind of surprised because I was listening to the radio and not much was said. You guys were talking about the way lap after lap he was climbing the leaderboard. All of a sudden, Ryan just viewed the radio and said, I'm going to wreck. I'm coming to you guys. And talking with Jonathan Hassler and the crew down here, the car is just very, very loose. And he just felt uncomfortable with it at this point. So they brought the blue Ford Mustang Wabash colors on it, and they're going to work on taking that race car up. So while it looked good for a while on the speed charts, you got to rely on driver comfort. Ryan Blaney felt like he was putting himself in a dangerous spot, and he has brought it down for an adjustment.
And I watched this as we were out there. Ryan Blaney was leading Austin Cindric, his teammate, as they were kind of climbing up the board. Austin Cindric was really able to make a lot of great track on corner entry. Really looked like Ryan was having to back his entries up and be a little cautious there.
Fastest car, Christopher Bell had a big moment off turn 4. Bell is now well off the pace on the back straightaway. You know what's interesting is some of these teams went out, ran a handful of laps, and went straight back to the pit lane. One of them being Chase Briscoe, Mr. Qualifying here in 2025. Briscoe, 23rd on the leaderboard, only only ran 8 laps, and he took his car straight back to pit lane. He's been there for the better part of the last 3 to 4 minutes.
So while Chase Briscoe is his hoods up on the pit lane, we talked about Christopher Bell. Bell now brings the car down to pit lane. Let's get an update there.
Well, the biggest thing for him, he talked about the moment that he had in turn 4. 2 laps before that, he had a big moment in turns 1 and 2 where the back end just wanted to take out on him as he started to put the throttle back down. So they're going to come in, make the adjustment for him, try to tighten him up just a little bit. Don't want to change too much because they have a very fast Toyota right now, but they want to get back out and work on the long run speed. Talk about Chase Briscoe, same situation. A little way too loose. They want to make the adjustment. He's going back out right now.
William Byron, even though he is third on the single lap speed charts, Ty Gordon, that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story on that team.
He won on 5 lap, 10 lap, and 15 lap average as he's going along, really putting it out there. A lot of consistent pace on William Byron this 2014. Right now, William Byron comes across the start-finish line, and William Byron will complete his 12th lap of this practice session. Again, if you're just joining us, Christopher Bell is fastest, Bubba Wallace is second, Byron third, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick running out the top 5. The top 4 are all from this group. Tyler Reddick's fast lap was from group number 1. We got Chase Elliott 6th, Alex Bowman in 7th, Denny Hamlin in 8th, Austin Cindric 9th, and Brad Keselowski. A lot of speed out of his Ford Mustang. He is posted in the 10th position.
Chase Elliott is one I've looked at. He's second quick on the 15 consecutive lap average, even though he's top 10, back half top 10, I should say, on single lap speeds, Todd.
And to me, I just looked at it, Chase Elliott, 20th lap, a 23.67. That's within a tenth of his fastest lap. Actually was only third at 10 laps, so that means his 10 to 15th lap were actually really good, putting long run speed together. So on the racetrack right now, we've got 15 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. Watching Chase Elliott come up the end of the back straightaway. Chase taking that second lane off the corner. William Byron going just a tad higher. And it would seem like that's where the speed is. Everybody's migrated to the second lane up from the bottom of the racetrack. Right now, everybody's just trying to get all the speed that they can, because at the end of this practice session, we're going to qualify. And when we do, everybody will get 2 laps of qualifying, and then we'll set the starting lineup for the Iowa Corn 350.
Qualifying, I think, is going to be very entertaining and quite interesting, because so many drivers are talking about how loose they are, instability with the back end of their race cars, and it doesn't matter which manufacturer it has been. There's been a lot of drivers mentioning that. That being said, qualifying, Mike, you got to get all you can get out of your race car, get to that fine line without causing yourself a problem out there on the race course.
Yeah, and you don't want to do, as what Todd mentioned, as jumping the cushion or putting the car in a precarious position, Steve Host.
Exactly, and you just talked about it. I just heard you guys talking about how the loose race car, and listening to Ryan Preece, he just brought the Mohawk International car into the attention of Garrett Finley and the crew, and listening to him describe it, it's like he's on a tightrope. When he eases the car in, he's pretty good. When he tries to hustle the car in, the minute he touches the brake, the rear wheels start almost shattering on the race car, and so it is that loose condition. It is that, it's not the loose condition, it's the borderline loose condition, and that tightrope they're walking right now. One lap you're really close to it, one lap you step over the edge of it, one lap if you're running the second group you might even jump the cushion. So it is really a tightrope that they're walking in. Ryan Preece and Garrett Finley made the decision to bring the car down. They've made one minor adjustment up under the front of it. They're making an air pressure adjustment on the tires as well. Well, to see if they can give him just a little bit more stability over the variety of ways that you run this racetrack.
Practice continues to roll on here as we get set for the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol. Practice and pole qualifying from Iowa Speedway is brought to you on MRN by E3 Smart Plugs. Stuck in slow motion? Unleash the NASCAR fire inside your engine with E3 Smart Plugs. Forget pit stops too. E3 gives you maximum fuel efficiency for more miles on the road and less time at the pump. E3 Smart Plugs, power, speed, domination. Get yours today from Iowa Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies for seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value for your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Every hero's story has a
will begin. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream. Every home track was the start of something special. That's what's scheduled for a track race. Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
Hey race fans, this is Tim McGraw from your home for NASCAR, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Back here at Iowa Speedway, practice for group number 2 ongoing. Christopher Bell is the quickest, but Todd Gordon, he's been loose a couple of times. He's only run 15 total laps, but one of them has been the fastest. Those Joe Gibbs team cars, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, they're also able to run 3 and 4 laps consecutively. Pretty good, but they all have had big moments on the racetrack.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe just jumped to P3 with a 23.546 second lap. I want to see where they can get a long run. It seems like they got short run speed, but everybody's complaining about Lewis, especially getting to the grip patch here. They've got to see whether they can build a long run speed.
Fastest car again on the single lap speed is Christopher Bell, but Jason Toy on the longer averages, it's William Byron.
And that's one of the things, talking to Rudy Dumoulin, his crew chief, before they went out, I said what are you looking for? He wants to see how the longevity goes with the race car. They're very pleased with the way that it is running right now, especially on that long run, which you'll tend to get here at the Iowa Speedway. The one thing that they had a concern about, and this was the call by the driver, he complained from the start for the first 2 laps until he brought it in some 20-plus laps in, and his brake pedal was very, very soft. Matter of fact, he was having to push all the way down with his tippy toes to get the brake to engage in there. So they brought him back down, not to adjust much of the race car, but to adjust the brakes a little bit because it's way too soft for the practice week.
That's the report there for William Byron. Brakes certainly a necessity here, even though it is technically a short track and under a mile in length. Has all the characteristics with speed and some handling of an intermediate track.
Yeah, Todd, break that down for us, because we're sitting and we're looking at a track that looks like Richmond Raceway in Virginia. It's larger, with 7/8 of a mile, where Richmond is a half mile. What we hear drivers saying is like an intermediate track. Actually, Richmond is 3/4 of a mile compared to the 7/8 that we're running here this weekend. So why does this track, Larson's almost up in the wall. What is going on here? Cars are slipping and sliding all over the place. More on that in a moment. Let's go back to the comparisons and why this drives like an intermediate track.
The corners here are bigger and sweeping, more sweeping, and your center corner speed, because of that, you carry more speed here. So aerodynamics have a bigger impact in this place. You think about Richmond, it's just a little bit smaller than this, but the corner radiuses seem like they're tighter, and that means you have to slow down more. It's more brake into the corner, it's more kind of pivoting in the center of the corner than driving off. Where the radius being a little more opened up here, you can roll more momentum through here, and aerodynamics play a bigger deal. So putting a little more tape on those brake ducts is an advantage to you here. That's something you're going to end up, when I'm thinking about hearing soft pedals, having cooling to the brakes. That's something that gives up a little aerodynamics, but you've got to find that balance of having enough cooling to keep them firm with the pedal.
You carry so much speed down these straightaways, and then you got to get on those brakes, Mike, to get in the corners. Your car can just overshoot it sometimes. Sometimes you're a little late getting on the brake, and I think that's what we've seen with a handful of these drivers.
Most recently, Kyle Larson, a moment ago, talked about sliding up for the bottom of the racetrack. Of course, you dive off into these corners and you're carrying a full head of steam, but you're also still trying to learn your balance of the race car and learn how the tires are going to interact, Steve Post.
Exactly, and it's a real Rubik's Cube they're putting together here. You're right, talking about the race car, and Austin Zimmer just backed his car back into the pit box. They're going to make one minor adjustment because they made one small adjustment, and the car, he's just entering the corner. He cannot get down in the corner and it flattens out. Well, the problem is, or where this is putting together is, right now the groove on the racetrack is right up on the outside edge of that new pavement. I think Todd Gordon absolutely nailed it earlier in the practice session when he said Tyler Reddick jumped the cushion. The fast play is right now right on that cushion or on that outside layer. But boy, if you get 6 inches or a foot wider, you are hanging out. We've seen Kyle Larson, we've seen Denny Hamlin, and we've seen others just lose the full handle on the race car. So it is a balancing act with your race car to get the right balance on the car to be able to be right in the right spot on the outside of that new patch of asphalt in the as I try to find that, as I try to find that perfect balance on each of these race cars.
For those of you listening, when you look at the corners here, think about the radius part of the corners. There's 4 paving lanes here. The bottom 2 got repaved last year, so there's grip there. The problem is
cows out here?
on that
With the cow.
So if you're right on the edge of that, if you overshoot that, you're going to end up on the old
Can't blow the air horn, otherwise
and you have to make the turn to
people are going to freak out.
on the old asphalt.
Too close to other
It's like
cars.
you're holding your breath getting to that. When you get to that newer asphalt, it kind of grips up. It brings your balance back in.
Which presents a set of challenges into itself, because a lot of people wonder, why do they only pave just the lower 2 lanes and only in the corners? What we're seeing now is presenting all kinds of
Someone lost their
challenges.
onions.
We love it when they have challenges. We should make these cars easy for these drivers to drive. We want them to be challenged. We want to see them make mistakes. So as we're going along, they're really having to figure out the balance. If you made the car tight enough to be secure on entry, it's not going to carry the speed through another corner because it's going to be too tight. You really rotate the corner. So it's a give and take here, and we get to see the drivers kind of overcome the challenges.
Well, to your point, was watching Denny and the workers right around the racetrack. Came off turn 4 a moment ago, and he's wearing white gloves, and they're seeing those hands back and forth, back and forth. Right now, Denny on the leaderboard is 10. He goes up into the corner, looks like the car took some good sand, and all of a sudden, that's where the sawing back and forth is taking place.
It is just a unique racetrack, because this track was designed by NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. And one of the other things that's really unique to this racetrack, unlike any other track we race, yes, it has a sneaker barrier all the way around the outside of it. But what's different compared to any other oval track, every other oval track has a concrete wall and then the safety barrier on the inside of it. Here at Iowa Speedway, there is no concrete wall. It's just a safety barrier. That's the only retaining wall we have.
Yeah, if you look at all the other racetracks, they got concrete walls, they got retrofitted, so the safety barrier got attached to the concrete wall. Here they built the racetrack with a safety barrier line. There are
Where's the cow at?
reinforcements behind all
Right
of
there.
triangles that support the steel outer wall. And that way they didn't have to put the concrete back behind it.
Get the cow.
It accomplishes the same thing.
Get the cow.
Racetrack, Christopher Bell is the
Where's
fastest
the,
driver of them all.
get him.
23.511 seconds. Number 33.980.
That's a horse. That's not a cow.
Main sports about an hour ago. In case you missed it earlier this week, Stuart Reason had a horrible crash in Canada in his dirt limo. Modified car. He basically crashed with Endo Marino, had a compound rupture of his right leg and broke his pelvis in 3 places. He's been transported back to the States. He has had the surgeries that he has needed to have. He's much comfortable. Matter of fact, he sent a tweet out earlier this morning, and he's got a long road to recovery, which he was qualified for the playoffs by winning at Michigan. The question is, who's going to drive that truck going forward? Christopher Bell will drive Stuart Reason's truck this coming weekend at Watkins Glen, next weekend at Watkins Glen, with future races to be named later, or drivers to be named later for those races. But C. Bell going to be returning to the NASCAR Christmas Truck Series next weekend.
And we are yet to hear if Stuart Reason's going to apply for a waiver. We don't anticipate he's going to be able to come back and drive. However, talking with some of the NASCAR officials earlier today, he still has to apply for a waiver or withdraw. Until any of that happens, he is still currently a playoff driver in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Now, they are going to continue to run that truck because with that win, that truck
that great pace. He and Allen got to sit in that night.
Chase Elliott, the points leader, coming in. A part of a storyline that only 4 drivers are in, and that's the regular season championship. 4 races to go. 4 drivers separated by 20 points. 3/4 of the Hendrick drivers are in that conversation, and they are Chase, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny, and the 4th that are separated by 20 points with 4 races to go in the regular season. Of course, the big thing right there, you get the accolade of winning the regular season championship, but if you do win it, you get an extra 15 playoff point bonus by winning.
So again, the separation from first to second is a full 5 bonus points. It goes 15, 10, 8, and then single digits beyond that in the points positions. The
This dude got a freaking old pickup strapped to the back of his truck, but he's dragging the access of the strap.
Get back to Iowa Speedway. You've had a lot of good memories here.
A lot of good memories for sure. That's a bad one that we try to forget, but it's always good to be here in Arnold sitting here drinking a barrel.
What kind of truck is that? Old C10?
Really, really loose there in practice. And
Well, definitely Chevrolet, because it says Chevrolet on the back of the tailgate. Yeah, it looks like an old C10.
A little bit better adjustments for qualifying here. But yeah, a lot of good memories for sure.
A lot of good memories. Hopefully, maybe make another one good one tomorrow, right?
I hope so.
There we go. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You talked about that fifth place run last year. What a great run it is, man, for Ricky. And we'll see. As he said, they've got a challenge here that they're going to have to work through. But Ricky and Mike Kelly calling the shots. Hopefully they get his car timed up and then get a qualifying run in here momentarily.
Meanwhile, Jason Toys with the green sheet of the car that was fastest in practice.
Yeah, he's supervising a lot of the work now in the 10-minute time period that they have. They can cool the car down. They're changing the tires right now. They'll qualifying tires for him too. The driver sits in the car where he's comfortable. That's Christopher Bell. Adam Smith is the crew chief down here as he talks things over. Actually, going to let him finish up this log here with his guys here as they continue to crunch some numbers. Talking to him, listen to him on the radio. Very happy with the balance of the race car. They like their short run speed. They can improve on their long run speed.
And that tire exploded.
They're working with right now with the guys and the engineers that are here, but also the crew that is back.
Explosion, catastrophe.
Back in the offices there to kind of help them out, look at the analytics on things and try to make this a faster Toyota. Again, this is the biggest thing they want. They want that long run longevity that we tried to get here for this race car.
That's the key. You got to be able to make your car last over a long green flag span.
Yeah, you definitely do it. This is one that this track with the repave and the pieces we talked about, it brings some challenges to all these crews. They'll all be crunching this now to qualifying and then overnight to work on track.
From Iowa Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
If you've never seen NASCAR like this, from June 19th to 21st, 2026, all three National Series will roll into San Diego to compete on the U.S. Navy's North Island base in Coronado. It's a full throttle weekend you cannot miss as we celebrate the Navy's 250th anniversary on miniature. Space is limited, so place your ticket deposit today at NASCARSanDiego.com. This isn't just a race, it's official. Visit NASCARSanDiego.com today. I'm ready to go. He's going into the race lead. Hey, it's Tyler Reddick. Catch SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Live or stream your favorite shows anytime on demand with the SiriusXM app. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway. Teams are getting set to put their cars on the grid as we're going to qualify here short track style, which means everybody will go out on the racetrack. You get 2 green flag laps, taking the fastest lap of your 2.
Interesting to watch who's going to take which line will pay off. Up to the bottom of the racetrack is what has produced some of the fastest we've seen in the arc of an R-Series race. That's not even this practice session to kick us off here today. The bottom lane isn't necessarily the best lane. Looks like to be a little slick. So drivers have done a good job, Todd, of moving their car around the racetrack to maximize the speed.
Yeah, definitely looked like the second lane came into these guys. In qualifying trim, is that still the case? We're going to have to see. Is this a fault here? Whether somebody can wrap around the bottom and shorten the racetrack, or whether it's going to be a top lane. Steve Bush, you got one of the betters.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. Even over in the Rogers results point down there. We thought crew chiefs talked about the challenge of this qualifying practice session. Joey Logano down here. Joey, what are some of the challenges been that you've seen that this racetrack, this tire, everything is thrown in?
We got a lot of challenges right now, I'm pretty sure. Maybe this one in practice, so guys keep swinging at it here. The back wants to go around the corner a lot faster than the front does, and it's trying to pass me. So hopefully we can get to the other end of it.
Cody Ware, to be followed by Jimmy Gase, Austin Dillon, Noah Gregson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the first 5 that will pull onto the racetrack. Shane Van Gisbergen will go out mid-pack qualifying. He's with our Steve Bruce.
That's the Red Bull colors on the Chevy down here. So, what did you learn about your race car here today at Iowa Speedway, Shane?
Not too bad, yeah. 6 or 7 in the first group. It's a pretty tough track. It's got no grip. So you get to the newest seal in the corner and then, have fun.
Having fun. All right, let's talk a little fun you had this week. You ran the summer shootout this year in the Legends Car Tuesday night. You actually won the pro feature. What is that like, just running out there, running that Legends car and getting your first pole track win in that Legends car Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's been blast. I had a lot of fun. Friends of us got into golfing and Bob Lawson and the same team. And yeah, we just had fun every Tuesday. And yeah, to get a win was just a bonus, I guess. But I enjoyed it. I'll probably do it next year too.
Looks like a good plan. That Shane Van Gisbergen feeling pretty good about his car here on the oval in Iowa. We'll see how he fares when he goes out qualified here in just a moment.
I wonder if he ever in a million years thought, I'm going to be racing NASCAR in America, coming from New Zealand. Well, he's accomplished that. Dan, how about let's go race a Legends car on a Tuesday night against some competitors he races on Sundays with the NASCAR Cup Series. Some other folks, maybe even somebody much younger than him, a teenager, more or less, that he's racing against out there.
You know, just hearing his voice and hearing his enthusiasm, it doesn't matter what he races. He enjoys what he does. He obviously has made the transition here to the States, and he's having a blast. He's won 3 times this year in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's won in Mexico, Chicago, Sonoma, and admittedly, the oval track portion is definitely in his skill set. But through what he did the other night in the summer shootout, and also what he's doing now, just clicking off these oval starts, that's playing into his wheelhouse. He's starting to develop that skill set, and I'm sure he'll race that too.
Yeah, I think that is a fair assessment. Qualifying is underway. Cody Ware, the first driver to go out. He is going to stand on his first lap time. It was the faster of the two as Joey Gase now comes up to speed. We check in with Jason Toy.
Austin Cindric down here at the 40 and fast forward and early on in that practice here early on for Austin. You guys had a very fast forward Menards Ford out there to start things off in practice. What was the long run speed like for you guys, and how important is that for you for the morning?
Yeah, I feel like there's not a tire fall off at the moment, so I think it's a lot more about understanding where the track's at, what my priorities are. The track's changed so much year over year now, and kind of being able to run up high like some Xfinity cars. It's one of those days you kind of just put the notebook aside and just start watching and listening and seeing what's happening, and that'll be important here for the small flag sessions.
Right, when you're watching the driver in front of you, you're watching the scenes. You always hear about going across scenes. You're going from the new asphalt to old asphalt. How significant of a change is that?
I think it's actually the entire characteristic of driving this lap is the fact that I'm turning off the wall on old asphalt and trying to get to new asphalt as quickly as possible. So it's a tricky place and a lot of effort. But no, like I said, I think our Menards ideal guys doing 4 Mustangs pretty decent. Just gotta go and have a good lap.
All right, there you go, Austin Cindric. He'll qualify. He'll go back in the qualifying tonight.
We'll find out how it comes out. Austin Cindric represented the Ford camp where they did the tire test here at Iowa Speedway earlier this year. You know, Todd, we keep hearing, and Mike too, we keep hearing these drivers talk about, we're not getting any tire fall off here. And this is a different tire compound that we're racing than what we did 1 year ago. Goodyear's in a tough spot. Yes, you want to have tires last because you're trying to sell tires to everybody who owns a car on every street in America. So you don't want tires to come out here and fail early on and wear out, but you also got to have that fine balance of trying to put on good racing.
Yeah, and as we've looked at the short track and road course program with this Gen 7 car, it's been a challenge because Goodyear's built such a good piece. When we added to it just to the tire footprint on all 4, it became easier for these teams to be consistent. As Austin Cindric talks about tire fall, when we talk about tire fall, the fact that the tire maintains its grip through laps, and it's not tires falling off, it's just the lap time stays consistent, that there's that amount of potential left in the tire lap after lap. Goodyear's been working on this, and it's something that they've worked on. NASCAR took aerodynamic pieces away. They tried to make this program better for the short tracks. They finally put it in Goodyear's hands. Goodyear has brought softer tires to a lot of these racetracks, and that's led them to kind of overworking the tire compound and actually making it have some give up and chase some racing a little bit better. Goodyear's done a good job of it, but it's a tough box for them to work on. As you talked about, a compromise between building something that's long and longevity, but building something that puts on
leaderboard, followed by Cody Ware and Joey Gase. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is on the racetrack right now. That bright orange and blue colored NOS Energy Chevrolet exits turn 2. He's on the green flag right now. After Ricky, you have Eric Jones, Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, Ty Dillon, and Riley Herbst to go out for their effort.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., we heard from him a little earlier in practice. He is, like everybody else, battling a loose race car here today. Lap number 1 is complete for Stenhouse. He'll go 4th out of the 5 drivers that have taken time. So we'll find out if he can pick up here on lap number 2.
26th in turn 2 right now. Lap 1 is in the books. Let's see what lap 2 has in store. Here's Ricky. He'll glide over the end of the back straightaway. He'll dip down to the bottom and let the car swing a bit wide. And he'll split that new pavement that we've been talking about. Here comes off the corner with a checkered flag flying to the start-finish line.
He will improve. He'll go up to the number 2 position right now, right behind Austin Dillon, who continues to be the fastest. Still a beautiful sunshiny day here in central Iowa, Newton, Iowa, to be exact, east of downtown Des Moines. As we work the NASCAR Cup Series qualifying on the Speedway.
It's quite far from East Des Moines, but it's kind of in between Des Moines and
over here in 2025. Eric Jones and obviously
whatever that downtown is called.
Controls of those Legacy Motor Club Toyotas. White flags in the air.
I'm gonna say
for Eric
Omaha.
Jones.
Eric Jones, second fastest on lap number 1. Let's see if he can get a little more out of the race car here on his second trip around the racetrack. He's going to have to pick up a good 1/10 of a second if he wants to have any shot of knocking Austin Dillon off the top of the leaderboard.
Off turn 4, Eric Jones swinging that car wide, trying to angle up and get a good run to the start-finish line. Checker flag in the air, will not improve. He'll stay second on the leaderboard. That last lap was a 23.365, 134.817 mile per hour lap.
Of course, they're qualifying to find out what starting position they're going to have in tomorrow's Iowa Corn 350. But time, Gordon, also based off of how you qualify, is the order in which you pick your pit box. And this is a unique pit lane here at Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, definitely. With it wrapping around turn 1, there's boxes around the corner. There's openings where you get into the garage areas. You're between 23 and 24, between 14 and 15. You know, you look for those opportunities to have a pit stall that you can get out of without traffic being in your way. Qualifying brings you the opportunity to pick the pole sitter will pick first, pick pit stall 1. Second place will pick second. You have that opportunity to put yourself in a better place to fight from tomorrow on pit road.
Ross Chastain's first lap has him 6th of 7 drivers. Let's see what he does now. The checkered flag is flying for the native of Alva, Florida.
Third quick now for Ross Chastain of the 7 drivers that have taken time. Based off of what we saw in practice, his car was fairly consistent, albeit out of Group 1. And I say that because that is a bit of a detriment from what we've seen. If you were in Group number 1 in practice today, the racetrack just wasn't primed, as they say.
I mean, this is kind of the year that Trackhouse Racing and really Phil Surgeon and Ross have had. They've had great race pace. Their ability to qualify, that's been something they've talked about having to work on. That they were qualifying in the 30s. They thought they were making gains.
And a weigh station coming up.
This is part of their project that they've got to work on making their program.
These guys, Oklahoma,
Saturdays.
Interstate 40, eastbound.
Zane Smith on the racetrack
We're in
right
Texas
now.
right now.
Front Row Motorsports, lap 1,
About ready to hit the
6 of
Oklahoma
8.
border.
Here comes Zane now.
These guys are pretty 50-50 on whether they have us go in or not.
Here's Zane Smith across the line, checking
It kind of sucks because, you know,
the second position.
we're based out of Oklahoma.
Let's hear from the Brickyard 400 winner, Bubba Wallace.
I think they give a little bit of leniency for being based out of Oklahoma, but they don't. But I guess that's playing favorites. Got a wiener wagon up here. He's going to be slow. Pretty boring drive, but kind of tends to happen when you're just in transit, not picking up or dropping off a load.
Yeah, I know. I noticed them being like a
that's not a wiener wagon. That's a independent owner operator with a freaking wiener wagon trailer on it. Or maybe not. I can be, and usually I'm wrong. Yeah, it's a wiener wagon. Never mind. Hey, hurry up and get in the right lane. That way station coming up here pretty quick. And there's a chance that we're going to go in. I ain't going to turn off the stream. I don't have the phone in my hand. I can stream while I'm driving as long as the phone ain't in my hand.
Still the fastest. Zane Smith the second quick. Riley Herbst is now third. Eric Jones fourth. Across Chastain currently. Sid Smith from Iowa Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. We've learned our investments well for retirement. Don't they know they're sitting on a gold mine? No, they don't know that if you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, you may be able to sell all or part of the coverage for cash. Even the term policy. Don't lapse your surrender your policy before finding out what it's worth. Call Coverage Leader Red 800-411-9200 or visit CoverageLeaderRed.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-9200. Call now. You'll never see NASCAR like this. June 19th and 21st, 2026. All three national series will roll into San Diego to compete on the
Probably not a good idea to pass me right now. Driver. Call yourself that. Way station up here.
This isn't just a race, it's a mission. Visit NASCARSanDiego.com today.
Might be a little further than I thought. Nope, it's right here. Hey, quit swinging your trailer at me, dude.
For the moment, Mike McDowell works the racetrack, takes the green flag as we check in with Jason Toy.
William Byron is down here as he gets range up.
Look at that.
Michael McDowell go by into turns 1 and 2. And why, you guys?
Last time I looked at this HP guy to my left, he was too busy on his cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's news to me. I was just out there making laps.
So this way station's got boards on the right that'll tell you whether to go in or not, and it'll also give me a signal. Back off the throttle a little bit. Separate 100 feet.
Close enough, but yeah, I think my car was couldn't stand up through. The track was just really tricky, and so the way you cross the
HP is just going to stay where he's at because he's an idiot.
it's just making for a tough ride, but it's yeah.
You got the green
My car was
and the sign.
pretty reasonable there, and probably within something that I can go qualify.
There you go, William Byron. He's the range up behind the wheel. Now let's look back over that door, jump in there, and get ready to roll here for his qualifying attempt. This is
And a chance that HP is going to get pulled over up here because he didn't scale.
Joey Logano is going to try to improve. He was next to last on the practice leaderboard. Logano's lap number 1, Mike, was a good one.
And it put him second on the leaderboard.
Gave him plenty of room to move over. Chose not to.
And he will not take him to the top. Michael McDowell is the number 1 driver. They got a couple of cars to go. It's McDowell, Logano, Austin Dillon, Zane Smith, Riley Herbst.
Whatever, it's his choice.
5 cars on the 13 that have taken time so far.
That'll bring us to the Ladera Ranch, California native in Cole Custer and the Haas factory team.
Caden Cows.
Works his way down the back straightaway.
Eat 'em.
Red, black, silver, Ford Mustang, Dark Horse Custer makes his way in the second wave. He turns
You got cows?
Here comes the general off the corner to take the white flag, and he will go 7th of the 14. So right now, mid-pack of those cars that have qualified.
7 of the 14. Say it's not so.
Up the back straightaway. Now we ease it off the end of that back stretch into turn 3.
makes it way right down the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Cole Custer.
Now, unfortunately, we just got a line of trucks in front of us.
Trying to improve from the number 7 spot. He will do so. No jump up.
going to hinder us in every way possible. And a line of cars on my left, including a U-Haul.
Bob's Discount Furniture. Kind of a Miami Dolphin type color scheme on this race car, but he got a little scratch on it during practice out there. So how is this track, and how's the driver behind the wheel of that race car?
So we get to go 65 for a little while until I get a clear left lane.
But I feel like we can get there, and certainly
Yippee.
Key is going to have good track position. You got to do that today. So we're
Buy a Harley, dude. What's wrong with you?
So you can get, put ourselves in that top 10.
We talked about looking through the data, how nice is it to have all of this technology in your hands like this in a short amount of time between the practice and qualifying.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's
Nothing like a truck telling you something you already freaking know.
not too, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look at.
It's a secret equipment percent. There you go, Diddy, with a smile on his face. He's watching those colors on the racetrack out the computer screens here. And when we talk about the colors, it's the ghost run colors. So basically, like car over car over car, and checking the lines of what they're running here to try to determine who's going to make his lap on the winner run.
Tyler Reddick getting his qualifying effort in. I don't think, Todd, that's exactly what they had in mind as they end up fifth right now out of the 15 drivers that have taken the winner.
Yeah, if you looked at it, we thought this was one of the best cars and one of the fastest cars early in that Group 1 session. Looked a little bit loose. Is that something that you see like a lot of these cars do? Loose into turn 1 to take it so speed.
Well, loose into turn 1 is a result of a huge bump that these drivers are driving over. And one of the most critical portions, you're trying to get the car angled to go to the bottom of the racetrack or just get angled into corner entry. You're on the brakes. You're getting this bump. And Alex, we see it from the tower, how that unsettles the car and gets that car get cattywampus going down the corner. These drivers have a handful under braking going into turn 1.
And the suspension is already rigid the way it is with the car riding as low to the ground. Josh Berry on the track in his Menards Ford Mustang. Lap number 1 was a great one. He'll go to the top of the leaderboard. Josh Berry and the Wood Brothers at the top of the board in Iowa Speedway. Lap number 2, not quite as good as his first effort, so he'll stand on lap number 1's time.
And AJ Allmendinger is down the racetrack. AJ had good practice early on. Of course, AJ driving Holland Racing. Take his Chevrolet through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can back up in practice or in qualifying the success he had in practice earlier today.
Solid effort for that team as he makes his way up off of turns 3 and 4. It looks like we got a little cloud cover now.
I gotta back off the throttle because apparently there's a construction up here. And I have to be nice and let truckers that weren't paying attention to the signs in.
Here goes fourth on lap number 1.
Halfway down the back straightaway for AJ Allmendinger flying the Celsius colors this weekend here at Iowa. Yellow dial up the low lane coming out of turn number 4. Will swing wide. Checker flag is waiting for AJ at the start finish line.
AJ Allmendinger goes to the top of the leaderboard, 23.174 seconds, 135.928 miles per hour. While Allmendinger comes to pit lane, back down to pit road we go with Jason Toy.
He's going with the sock down on. He's going to put the helmet on. Yep, fast time.
So why are we going 30 under?
Up here and qualified here. It seems like the later we go in it, the faster these cars are getting.
Yeah, that's normal. The track conditions will get a little bit better. We've got the rig camera to do it. Super sketchy out there. And so it should be. So, see what happens.
All right, he's looking forward to having fun time on this racetrack. Christopher Bell, fastest in practice, looking to back it up.
Shane Van Gisbergen, 7th fastest on his first lap. And Sears is 2 on his second lap.
From Iowa Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCullough, the CEO of streaming TV company Philo, and Juicy Reality TV is how I unwind. At Philo, we're all huge TV fans, so we spend all day making Philo the perfect place for people who love TV. No hassles, no contracts, we never ask you to pay more for things you don't want. Just the good stuff. We have live TV from your favorite channels like MTV, Discovery, A&E, and more. We've got a huge library of more than 80,000 movies and shows you can watch anytime. We give you an unlimited DVR so you can skip all the ads. And we have 24/7 customer service that connects you to a real person in seconds. You might even get me on the line. The best part, if I love, MTV shouldn't bring
defending winner of the Iowa Court 350 was the Steamboat.
Style lady down here talking with Raymond Fox the third, one of the longtime crew members and car chief on this one. Ryan, Christopher Bell just called it sketchy out there. What have you learned about this racetrack during this practice session tonight?
I agree with the same statement. Practice, we saw a lot of cars just out of control. They drop with the car, and just let them lean on. And then you don't have as much grip through the middle of the corner to save you, like last year. So, yeah, it was definitely a sketchy practice, but fun, like trying to figure out what's the limit, what's my limit that I can get, because you want to get as big on as you can, but you're asking for a lot of the car, so it's just like, where's that balance, and what can you do to change your car and driving style to, kind of combat that and make it the best you can. So, yeah, we'll see. I felt like I wasn't driving great in practice. I thought our race was okay. I feel like everyone's going to say that the car wasn't driving good. It's just a matter of who can figure it out a little bit faster. So hopefully we can lay them up down and start towards the front tomorrow.
You mentioned earlier today, talking to reporters, this was almost like a crown jewel game because you grew up in this area, you were able to live in this area. So you got a big contingent. Everyone ready for maybe a second celebration here this weekend?
Yeah, we got a lot of family in the stands again. Just like last year, my mom's from just down the road. So I spent a lot of time and, Newton and Sheraton as a kid. And this place means a lot to me. And means a lot to my mom growing up. So, yeah, we have a big incentive. Just trying to win this one. Hopefully we can get the family down from the grandstand like we mentioned.
That's a cool moment, that's for sure. And that is Ryan Whitey getting ready to go out. Also a cool moment in the Whitey family. Tonight at Sheridan Speedway up in the eastern part of Ohio. It's the memorial race for his grandfather on the other side. The Whitey Memorial tonight up there. So a lot of good families been happening this weekend with the Whiteys and Ryan's hoping they can all celebrate here tomorrow for the second consecutive season at Iowa Speedway.
Gotta get his qualifying lap in and not be too sketchy on the racetrack. That's been the word of the day here for these drivers. Ty Gibbs, he qualified 7th a moment ago. He will now be drop kicked back to the number 8 spot.
Justin Haley across the line into P2 on the leaderboard, 23.198. That's a 135.788 mile per hour lap. Good run for Justin Haley, Inspired Motorsports.
Yeah, definitely a good run. I did doing it lap 2. I really like the fact you can turn down off of turn 4 and kind of short.
Sounding like a top NASCAR driver.
Considers out here one of the guys I feel like that's going to be a competitor later.
Larson,
Kyle Larson looked really
Blaney,
good. Jason Button.
Bush, we're all having a hard time trying to find out the perfect setting for Iowa. While all the lower end teams are pretty much right on the money.
Mostly for me, just entries. So once I get in the car, my car feels pretty good. Yeah, for me, on edge, I'm sure we'll walk on here so we can lay down a good lap.
All right, he's looking at all the data here. Watching his teammates get ready to go out here in just a moment. That's Kyle Larson being last. The qualifying here tonight for Austin. Cindric goes to the top of the leaderboard, 23.310 seconds, 135.135 mile an hour. After what was a dismal practice session, it was amazing to watch
Williams that got fired. Williams got fired in his car.
He's flying the Spire banner off turn number 4, looking for the white flag at the start finish line.
Not bad in practice was Hocevar, and not bad lap number 1. Fourth fastest for Carson Hocevar, and that Chevrolet, he digs for a little more off turn number 2, hits the back straightaway.
Well, our Carson Hocevar, that is. Here he comes, and in turn number 3, 2 lanes off the bottom of the racetrack, and he'll swing that car wide. He's going to get a good angle. Going to bring it down to the start finish line. Checker flag is waving.
Iowa's a tricky track. You can go in there pretty strong, but you burn up your tires if you go in there too strong, too many times. And once you're in the corner, you gotta kind of keep the throttle about halfway or so. Kind of keep your momentum, but problem is if you hit the throttle too hard, you can send it around too easy. Got to feather the throttle into the corner while you're in the corner.
That was not the lap he was looking for. 18th on lap 1 with a 23.398 second lap. Remember, the pole was 23.0.
So says iRacing.
Set by Chase Briscoe just a moment ago. Here's Chris Buescher. We're trying to go faster on lap number 2. Let's see if he can get that.
It's like a short track Montana. You got to stay out of the little tar grooves in the middle of the track. Otherwise, you lose traction. Kind of like the tar line that's in the middle of the road right now. There's a bunch of those in the middle of the track in Iowa.
And he really had to check up balance. He was headed for the outside wall.
Got that bright yellow Love's travel style Ford Mustang off the outside wall, comes right back down. So lap number 1 will not be the best of circuits. Good thing is he's got a second circuit to try to get around and get the job done. 25th on lap number 1.
Yeah, 25th of 26 cars. Well, he knows not what to do, or knows what not to do. In turn number 2, he'll ease through and onto the back straightaway. Let's see what that Love's travel stop Ford Mustang does. He's a bit wide in the corner. The car twitches just a tad coming off turn number 4. There's the
Love's Travel Stop sponsored car. And there is quite literally a freaking Love's Travel Stops truck stop right across the street from this track.
Chase Briscoe, still the fastest. Up off turn number 4 comes a hit of Motorsport Chevrolet and driver.
I've stayed there many times.
He wraps up his qualifying effort. We got Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman.
This track's just right off of Interstate 80.
And then qualifying for the Iowa Corn 350 Rio.
There's William Byron in turn number 3. Sun bounces off of that line, green and black. Raptor paint scheme as the white flag goes in the air. Lap number 1 for William Byron.
William Byron 9th overall with a 23.270 lap. We've seen, for the most part, a lot of these drivers have that fast second lap. William 9th of the 27 cars that have qualified so far. Here he comes out of turn number 4 to win that number 2.
Trying to recruit for that number 9 spot as he makes his way down to the finish line. William Byron will jump all the way up to second. Good second lap for William Byron. It's Chase Briscoe the quickest. William Byron 3/100ths of a second behind him. In the number 2 spot, Austin Cindric. Currently third, Brad Keselowski begins his qualifying lap from Iowa Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Anyone doesn't make a great cigar. We're getting fluff. You make some more of some sketchy warehouse where the cigars you try are your boss's sense of humor. And famous smoke we've been family owned since 1939, and we're obsessed with getting cigars right. Shop thousands of premium brands, and we're fines, act fresh, and ship fast. Go to famousmoke.com and use code SMOKE for $20 off when you spend $99 or more. Real cigars, real experts, famousmoke.com. Code SMOKE.
Welcome to Truck Country, where sweat becomes fuel. Bumpers become cruisers, and pedals become pedestals. Where the future is ready, one lap at a time, and burn into history. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Fox and FS1.
Born beginning team of the year goes to Kia.
does not improve. 29 of 32 cars to take time for the red, white, blue form of Ryan Reese.
Ryan Blaney takes the green flag right now, and of course he won this race 1 year ago. He takes that car off into turns 1 and 2 under the green flag, flying the blue and white colors on that Ford Mustang this weekend.
Wabash in place of Nota loaded down the corner panels. Here comes Ryan Blaney up on turn number 4. Let's see what he can do on his first lap. Blaney flashes by his start finisher. Big bit fast from lap number 1. That's not a bad first lap.
This could be a possible pole run here for Ryan Blaney. Depends on what he's able to do coming down the back straightaway. We'll see if he can at least crack the top 5, maybe even sit on the front row for the Iowa Ford 350 tomorrow. Ryan takes the tip into turn 3. He'll ride the scene there in the bottom of the racetrack coming off the corner.
Checker flag in the air. Ryan Blaney sails up underneath it and will stay in the number 5 position behind Brad Keselowski, who is 4th. Austin Cindric currently 3rd. William Byron currently 2nd. And Chase Briscoe atop the leaderboard now with just a couple of cars remaining.
So while we have the opportunity to catch our breath, let's bring you up to speed. Chase Briscoe right now is the man that everyone is aiming for, with William Byron 2nd, Austin Cindric 3rd, Brad Keselowski 4th, and Ryan Blaney 5th, Carson Hocevar is 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, AJ Allmendinger's 8th, Justin Haley's 9th, and Josh Berry is 10th.
11th currently is Michael McDowell. Joey Logano is 12th. Alex Bowman 13th. Christopher Bell 14th. And Austin Dillon rounds out the top 15.
Gonna have to take my half-hour break here pretty soon.
Flies by the start-finish line.
I also want to mess with my YouTube account and see if I can't become a better streamer. Kind of learn a little bit.
Took the checkered flag 1 week ago in the Brickyard 400 at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Lap number 1 for Bubba Wallace as he has a bit of a wiggle coming up off of turn number 4. Shows up timing and scoring. 16th for Bubba Wallace on lap number 1.
Here he comes up the back straightaway. He was trying to improve that to get 16th. Taking time to say good. Comes Bubba. They bring up the banking off of turn number 4. He'll swing it up against the safer barrier. Checkered flag waving at the start-finish line. Again, 16th on lap 1. He'll jump to 13th on lap 2. 23.247 seconds. 135.501 miles per hour.
And then there were 2. It's Denny Hamlin on the track now. Kyle Larson will wrap up qualifying for the
Yeah, Elk City. There's a Love's here that's so tiny.
He'll exit turn 2.
Chase Briscoe sitting on pins and needles. If Briscoe wins this pole, it'll be his 6th of 2025. Denny Hamlin now will take that Bob's Discount Furniture Toyota to the bottom of the racetrack in 3. Here he comes looking for the white flag.
It is in the air. He'll fly by and accept it. It will be 17th on lap number 1. 17th for Denny Hamlin. He'll dig for the floor as he exits turn 2. Shoots down the back straightaway. Mike will tell us if he'll indeed improve or not.
Denny Hamlin taking that teal, red, and yellow colored Toyota Camry through the corner. Checkered flag is waiting for Denny Hamlin at the start-finish line. Here he comes across the line. Denny Hamlin 17th on lap 1. He'll go to 10th on lap 2. 23.219 seconds, 135.665 miles per hour.
And the final cars on the racetrack and taking the green flag, and that's the red, white, and blue HendrickCars.com Chevrolet of Kyle Larson. Larson on the racetrack. Chase Briscoe the fastest right now. One of the 2 will lead the field with the green flag tomorrow.
Kyle Larson on the end of the back straightaway with that red, white, and blue colored Chevy Camaro. HendrickCars.com on the corner panels. Here comes Larson across the line. White flag is in the air. One lap
No.
over. What does he do on lap
Yeah.
3rd fastest for Kyle Larson. Good first lap. He's going to keep his foot in it. He's going
No,
to
my
walk it down
job
the
didn't
straightaway
change.
Iowa Speedway. Chase Briscoe watches.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson laser focused headed to turn 3.
Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson on the pole for the Iowa Ford 350. Here comes Larson off the corner. Checkered flag. Kyle Larson's lap is over. Briscoe wins the pole. Larson will stay in 3rd. Chase Briscoe with a 23.093 second last lap with the fastest of them all.
I'm supposed to have an Xfinity race tonight.
36.933 miles per hour. That's a big track record.
For those of you that like NASCAR.
Again, the 6th time he will lead the field to the green flag of the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025.
From Iowa Speedway, this is the Motor Racing
What is that key, John?
And when agents have money on the line, they sell your home for top dollar. So go to ready.com, REDY.com, or call 888-515 ready.
I think there's a rest area up here somewhere. If I remember correctly. Which I could be wrong, and sometimes I am.
It's all or nothing. For 26 weeks of the year. Welcome to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Only on the CW.
Eric Jones again, a good run. Jump to the outside. This is Eric Jones. You're listening to America's Home for NASCAR, Series XM NASCAR Radio Channel. Back at Iowa Speedway, qualifying for the Iowa Corn 350 is over, and Chase Briscoe, Alex, again, leading the field to the green flag. What a qualifying effort for Chase Briscoe with that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry team.
Sixth pole position of the 2025 season. Let's hear from our pole winner with Speed Post.
10th time he's won the pole position this season. Chase, just describe there go James Smollett here. Give it a congratulatory handshake there. Describe your pole lap and winning the pole and the challenges of getting a quick lap on this racetrack.
Yeah, it was, honestly, it was less sketchy than I thought it was going to be. Practice in the course were an absolute handful. We were just all over the place and slipping and sliding around. And all time, it had hits of that, but not near as extreme as practice. So it kind of caught me off guard. I was able to run it as far as I was. I did not think that was a mistake. I got out of the my guys. I didn't think it's going to be right. It's actually kind of nice. It was a little too tight, but too. Felt like I gave up. And definitely felt like I kind of ran a 90 here. Early 90 if I was in right. So yeah, glad that it was able to stick. It's going to be extremely hard to fix tomorrow. So it's nice to be starting up front and see if we can finally just convert one of these things. We're starting on the full 6 times down there. We're able to win one. So hopefully tomorrow will be the day.
Do you have a sense as to what the car was overall on during practice today?
Yeah, I thought our work speed was good. We worked great. So I'm out of here really tired. And this game is such a great job. Just understanding what I need and get the car to get what I needed to do. And yeah, I thought we were good. I think we had a third quick in practice, and that was right on left to get the tires. So yeah, I definitely think we were in the mix. I don't think you're the dominant car by any means, but I definitely felt like we could get me up there soon. See what it is.
We shall see, that is for sure. 136.405 miles per hour. Chase Briscoe goes to green tomorrow.
With William Byron starting on the outside of the front row. Be sure to tune in for NASCAR Live Race Day with Racing Network's coverage of the Iowa Corn 350 will begin at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. For Steve Post and Jason Toy and Vince, more time Morgan and Alex Alon, Mike Bagley. Be sure to tune in at the top of the hour with NASCAR Xfinity Series coverage of Jaime Brooks 250 from Iowa.
And I'm gonna have to stop at this exit somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, on the shoulder or the off ramp or something. But
For the Iowa Corn 350.
I've got to go to the bathroom.
Has come to you from Iowa Speedway. Presented on MRN by E3 Smart Plus. Powerful and fuel efficient. Find E3 at your nearest auto parts store. Our coverage has come to you under an exclusive radio license granted by Iowa Speedway to the Motor Racing Network. Solely for the non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any use of the descriptions and accounts of this event without the express written permission of the Motor Racing Network is prohibited. Today's broadcast was directed by Julian Council. Broadcast engineer Steve Friendly. Studio engineer Andy Pachetti. Audio engineer Craig Moore. The president of MRN is Chris Schwartz. Follow NASCAR every day at MRN.com. This
Yeah, I'm not taking that
production
exit.
of the Motor Racing Network.
Regulated activities performed by a licensed
There ain't no room to park on the side of the off ramp anyway.
Norman and Nancy Dugan from Coventry Direct.
I'm proud to let you know of policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well under her, so we just don't need it anymore.
When Nancy called Coventry,
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
if you're over 65 and have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify. After this past year, we're celebrating life. Some all-road travel.
police exit, but I'm thinking it's just that. It's not a truck stop. That's just me taking a wild guess. I really don't want to park on the side of an off-ramp. Yeah, it is just a gas station. That ain't no truck stop.
Earning returns from 7% to 20% guaranteed every month or every year. With contracts from 1 to 5 years, RJM is fully control. No gambling.
My bladder's about to explode. I don't pull over here soon.
Expertise and trust. If you've been waiting for the right way to invest, call RJM now at 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. RJM, trusted, proven, built for future.
Alright, well, I think I can at least pass Birch and Bach, the truck in front of me. I've been off the throttle, waiting for a time to get off the interstate, since I'm not finding one. We'll just pass Hirschenbach real quick.
Incredible gift. See if you agree. 3 ways to double sales in 12 months. So Jason's training less than a year ago. This year alone, Jason has made my training explode as far as my sales growth by over 250%. I'm expecting ongoing close to $5 to $6 million gross this year just off of his training. Again, call your email address and we'll give you a program that offers a pay yearly to receive. 800-500-8320. 800-500-8320. That's 800-500-8320. If you're our customers. Welcome to the final fight for the playoffs.
You're blocking my mirror again, shithead. Thank you.
Every pass, every point matters. Now it's time for the more
Excuse me.
more determination, more drama. Here we go. Welcome to the home stretch. The NASCAR Cup Series brought to you by Busch Light in Iowa. Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on USA.
You're listening to
truck driver trying to pass me this whole entire time. Ain't a real pain in the ass. I'm gonna have to back it off just to get it over and done with.
Yeah, we're gonna truck race as best we can, and when you lose control, that's if that happens, we'll take the evening and we'll try to track this guy.
Your body congratulations been on that hellacious ride, and how do you stop the idiot? Appreciate your time, Jesse. Thank you. Jesse Love will start the poll with a lap of 23.642 seconds. Now back to you.
Lee, that's a very good question, and the way he answered it was very good, but not much easier said than done. Connor Zell's is for the road that hasn't happened since 2022. When Gregson was able to do it, Sam Hard did it back in 1982. So to tell you what kind of feat that is, only two drivers have done it before. 82 for Hard in 2022. For no Gregson, the Xfinity Series to round off the brand new way. Connor Zell's and lately with his qualifying lap of 132.5 miles per hour. Puts him up in pretty good position as he's ready to start this thing. That's what we're watching Jesse Love take the break.
Well, I think we're going to take that Cherokee Trading Post. It's one of my favorite truck stops. I was kind of hoping to find something before it. But I'm a truck driver. I got a very not expendable, but stretchy bladder. I'm going to hold it until we get to exit 71. We're at 55 right now, so it's not too far. Those of you that are watching, I went from playing American Trucking Simulator to going back to trucking in real life. And I also moved out of my home, so I don't have to worry about rent. I'll be making a video here about pretty much an apology video to all my subscribers that I kind of let down over the last couple of months. I just went on a giant hiatus. I've been concentrating on trying to be successful in my real life trucking. But for whatever reason, I decided to just give the live streaming a shot while I'm driving. So far, it looks like it's working. Got a couple viewers, but they popped in, popped out. Then once we get to the truck stop, I'll go to the bathroom, let my dog go to the bathroom, and probably record a quick apology video, show you guys my Chariot, and once I'm done with my half-hour break, I'll probably go live again. And that one's going to be a lot longer than this one. Still got about 4 hours until I'm done for the day, so 277 miles left.
So they can have to watch
I'm going to get back into streaming again, but this is how I'm going to stream. I may stream outside of the truck and myself while I'm pre-tripping and all that kind of stuff. I want to get back into streaming again. Should have done it a while ago. To be honest with you, I didn't think I had access to my YouTube account, but apparently I do. So you can expect some videos from this point on. Ten more miles until we pull over for a half-hour break. Shit, at ATS, we'd be destination a while ago. Not in real life. Real life takes a lot longer to go from good old Arkansas to Portland, Oregon. This trip I went to California. Kind of wondering where Chad is at. Asked my cigarette, I love myself. busted tire in me. exit 71, but it's 74 now.
It has been a challenging year for William Sawalich in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He leads all drivers with 7.
I might have passed it. I don't know. Let's see.
He's got 36 points from the playoff cut line.
No, it's not. It's up there. No, that's not right.
William Sawalich is with Jason 24 of West Virginia. That's not that bad. Since out here, we talk about the fact that the last handful of races, you made a lot of points.
That's the love. That's weird. It's actually exit 108. Still got a while. I said exit 71 on the billboards, but that's not the one I was talking about. Getting to the point where I can't hold it no more. Take just about any truck stop at this point.
Today's race is 250 laps, 218.75 miles. Stage breaks will come at laps 60 and 120 from Iowa Speedway.
really. some of these truck drivers with low roof sleepers can be driving around with a drive-in. You're just parachuting everywhere. Profits going right out your tailpipe. Nothing wrong with having a low roof sleeper truck, but I'd be doing reefer more than I'd be doing drive-in. So I'm not killing my fuel mileage. Take this exit and go to Love's.
Save time and shop online at Hy-Vee. Enjoy the same low prices and great deals online as in store. It's fast and easy. Just shop groceries from our app or online. Choose a pickup or delivery time that fits your schedule. And done. Plus, we created safe grocery.
I think I made a mistake. That truck stop is full.
Fuel savers. Whatever you need, wherever you are, just one click away. Save time.
You know what? If there's room on the on-ramp right here, I think we'll just pull over on the on-ramp. Yeah, there is. I really don't need nothing from Love's, so.
We thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auction.
I just need to take a half-hour break and do some stretching. Got part of my left. Right's clear, but part of my left. Alright.
Welcome to the final fight for the playoffs. From Iowa to Watkins Glen, Richmond to Daytona. Every lap, every pass.
Alright, I'm gonna pull over right here. Take a quick half-hour break. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Welcome to the home stretch. The NASCAR Cup Series brought to you by